This is a webinar on flexible learning models for a resilient district, and we're going to take some time to unpack those terms. My name is Justin. I'm a partner with Education Elements. Over the 10 years, we've worked with well over 1,000 schools and 250 districts, and across a range of different projects, mostly around designing and implementing student-centered learning. We also support districts and schools and organizations with strategic planning, return planning, equity work, leadership coaching development, and teacher retention. So before we get into the models themselves, I want to take some time to set a little bit of context and also step back and do a little science lesson specifically about ecosystems. So similar to ecosystems, districts definitely face shocks and disturbances, as all of you are very well aware. The question then in my mind becomes like, how can we increase the biodiversity of a district? And the idea is that if we can support by design a greater range of learning models, not because we're reacting to any one of these shocks and disturbances, but because we know that they're going to be a constant and we're going to need to adapt. What does it look like for us to, as education leaders, as teachers, as parents, what does it look like for us to intentionally maintain a small portfolio of flexible learning models so that as these shocks and disturbances come up, we can adapt? Why should we be thinking about flexible learning models and why now? Of the districts that we work with, and even the districts that we don't work with, if you look at this map, you see that, you look at the key at the bottom here, for the most part, most schools and states across those, or schools across those states are in a state of transition. But in a more positive light also, is there value to be had from maintaining some of these models going forward? Even after we, have a vaccine, our families, because of the experience they've had, going to want more options with learning as well. So we're going to take a look at 4 different models, and it's going to be quite a range. So the first here is the notion of a broadcast model. So the broadcast model is exactly what it sounds like. It is a single teacher or a small group of expert teachers who are recording video lessons and sharing those with many teachers across a district. And what I learned in some districts were partnering with like the local PBS station and kind of coordinating different programming on the television so that students could tune into something and have some consistency with learning. So think of it similar to that, except that the production and the broadcast comes from within the district. This could happen at a district level. Imagine if a small group of core content area teachers were the expert teachers and we're broadcasting videos to all of the teachers in schools across the district, or you can do it in the context of a school. So here's another one to think about. This is a concurrent Socratic seminar. If in your district, you're noticing that and you're hearing a lot of reports of students feeling isolated and separated from peers, this could be something you consider because it prioritizes student-driven discussions. And it also is attempting to bring students who are learning from home and who also might be learning in the building together. This one is the HyFlex station rotation. So what we mean there is that learners can access the station rotation in an asynchronous fashion, in a synchronous fashion, or in a hybrid fashion. Definitely a big consideration here, which we'll get into in a sec, is the amount of planning and thought that needs to go in it on the teacher's end. We are seeing some schools and districts being quite successful with station rotations in this capacity, and certainly in a virtual setting. Last one here is the playlist or choice board. Definitely spikes with empowerment because students should and can have quite a high degree of choice, especially around pace at the very least. And we're definitely seeing teachers sharing a range of playlists, so maybe like 3 playlists in a week that students can work through or over the course of a month. So much more opportunity for choice and student decision making with this.